Air traffic at Rzeszow and Lublin airports in southeastern Poland resumed on Saturday after military flight operations linked to Russian attacks on Ukraine were concluded. Poland's Air Navigation Services Agency, PANICS, said in a post on X. The agency had earlier suspended operations at both airports as a precaution during heightened aerial activity. Poland's Armed Forces Operational Command later confirmed that Polish and Allied fighter jets had completed their missions, adding that no breaches of national airspace were detected. This comes after Poland scrambled fighter jets in response to Russian aerial activity linked to strikes on Ukraine, underscoring rising regional tensions as Kyiv faced another wave of attacks. Poland's Air Navigation Services Agency earlier said on X that operations at Rzeszow and Lublin airports were briefly suspended after Polish Air Force aircraft were launched as a precautionary measure. The closures followed heightened military activity near Poland's eastern flank, prompting authorities to place air defenses on alert. In a separate statement, the operational command of the Polish Armed Forces said fighter jets had been deployed after Russian long-range aviation launched strikes on Ukrainian territory. The command said ground-based air defense systems and radar surveillance units were also activated. According to the military, the steps were preventative in nature and aimed at protecting Polish airspace, particularly in regions close to areas considered at risk. Officials said the situation was being closely monitored and that forces remained ready to respond if conditions deteriorated. The alerts came as Ukraine's capital Kyiv and several other regions came under heavy attack early Saturday. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said at least 19 people were injured, with 11 requiring hospital treatment. Emergency services rushed to the Dnipro district after a blaze erupted in an 18-story residential building. Another high-rise, a 24-story apartment block in the Darnitsia district, was also struck, officials said. Additional fires were reported in the Holosivsky and Obolonsky districts, compounding the impact of the overnight barrage. Ukrainian officials said air defenses were engaged across multiple regions as drones and missiles crossed into the country's airspace. Reacting to the attacks, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said international pressure on Moscow remained inadequate. In a statement, he warned that continued strikes during the holiday period showed Russia's intent to escalate rather than de-escalate. If Russia turns even Christmas and New Year into a time of destroyed homes and burned apartments, this can only be answered with truly strong steps, Zelensky said, arguing that the United States, Europe, and Ukraine's partners have the capacity to act more decisively.
Russia unleashes massive missile attack on Ukraine capital. In the dead of night, Ukrainians run for cover, racing against the sound of sirens to escape missiles. Above the capital, Ukraine's air defenses roar into action, intercepting enemy drones in the sky over Kyiv as explosions echo. Just shortly before 2 a.m., in the dead of the night of December 27th, Russian forces launched one of their fiercest attacks on Kyiv, firing several Kinzhal hypersonic missiles, 4 Iskander ballistic missiles, and a group of Caliber cruise missiles in a massive coordinated back-to-back strikes. Amid the bombardment, air raid sirens screamed, "Stay in shelter." Ukrainians fled their homes, racing underground as metro stations turned into life-saving bunkers. Children wrapped in blankets, parents clutching phones, families slept on cold floors. Metro stations instantly transformed into underground lifelines. In a post on Telegram, Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said, "Explosions in the capital. Air defense forces are operating. Stay in shelter." Outside the metro station, the scene was different. AFP journalists in Kyiv heard several loud explosions, some accompanied by bright flashes that lit the horizon orange. Not just Kyiv, but a countrywide air alert alarm went on, informing that Russian drones and missiles were moving over several Ukrainian regions, including the capital. Above the capital, air defense units roar into action, intercepting enemy drones as explosions rip through the sky over Kyiv. Meanwhile, Russia has not commented on the attack, which comes just days after intensified strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure and the strategic southern port city of Odessa. But the timing is critical. The bombardment comes just 2 days before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he would meet with President Donald Trump in the United States to work out details of an accord for settling the nearly 4-year-old war pitting Russia against Ukraine. Russia accused Zelensky and his EU backers of seeking to torpedo the US-brokered plan. Zelensky said the Trump-backed 20-point plan under discussion is about 90% ready.
We have a broad agenda, and it will be over the weekend. I think that on Sunday in Florida, I will be meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. We will be discussing these documents. As I said, security guarantees. There are several documents in this block, and it would be desirable to find an opportunity to discuss them all. Next is the economic agreement. There are some basic developments there, although there will be several agreements, and we need to discuss the direction here. I don't know. I can't say right now whether anything will be finalized by the end. The purpose of this meeting is to finalize as much as we can. And whether the territorial issues will be discussed, all the issues on which we have questions and disagreements, our side will definitely raise them. To be honest, the 20-point plan we have been working on is 90% ready. Our task is to make sure that everything is 100% ready. It is not easy, and no one is saying that it will be 100% ready right away. But nonetheless, we must bring the desired result closer with every such meeting, with every such conversation. A war is still raging, diplomacy on the clock, and Kyiv, once again, under fire.